السلام عليكم اخوان والاخوات، كيف الحال والاحوال؟ كنتمنى تكونوا بخير وعلى خير، وهذا الفيديو راكم في صحه جيده وبدايه اسبوع ان شاء الله سعيده للجميع. الاخوان المغرب يعني على كل لسان بطبيعه الحال، وكان على كل لسان ولكن مازال كيزيدوا وهنا كنشوفوا غير من خلال الروبورتاجات ومن خلال الامور اللي كيديروها قنوات اجنبيه. في هذا الفيديو قناه اجنبيه، قناه بالضبط المانيا، كديروا واحد الروبورتاج على مغاربة عايشين في فرنسا وداروا العرس مغربي في المغرب، مشات معاهم بالتفاصيل ديالهم من فرنسا للمغرب، وكيفاش مشات معاهم بالتفاصيل ديال التفاصيل، كيفاش كيتقداو الامور ديالهم وكيفاش جهزوا الامور. يعني خاص يكون عندك فعلا واحد الخلفيه انه باغي تكتشف شي حاجه اللي عاجباك، واحد الحلقه ديال وحاجه اللي مهتم بها. يعني واحد الفيديو قوي وقوي جدا بالتفاصيل الممله، وبطبيعه الحال امور غتعجبك امور ما غتعجبكش. بطبيعه الحال كنتي كاره للمغرب ما غتعجبكش الامور اللي غتشوفها اللي قويه وقوي جدا. وهذا الشيء ما غنشوفوش هاد القناه مشات للجزائر ولا مشات لشي بلاصه اخرى، مشات المغرب ودات روبورتاج على المغرب وعلى العرس المغربي. خليك تشوف هذا الفيديو القوي والقوي جدا، رائع جدا. وبطبيعه الحال ما تبخلش عندنا واحد الاشتراك، ولا كنتي اول مره كتجي القناه مرحبا بك، وشكرا الناس كيديروا لايك مثلا الفيديو. خليك تشوف الفيديو من الاول للاخير، وفي الاخير نناقشوا بعض التفاصيل.
A wedding in Morocco still resembles a fairy tale from 1001 Nights. All eyes are on the bride, the centre of attention. A long guest list, traditional attire and flamboyant jewellery are all a must.
منين كتجي وكتجلس العروسة وكتبرز كيف ما كنقولوا.
As soon as the bride takes her seat, her family and friends take care of her every need. Everyone is happy. The bride feels like a princess on a throne. Every girl dreams of one day having a traditional Moroccan wedding. The bride is carried around on a magnificent litter known as an amaria. Every girl dreams of being a princess for one day. At the celebration, you forget all your worries.
فوالا يعني داك التعب وديك لافاتي كلها كتمشي.
A July afternoon. Yusra and Uthman are getting married soon. They and their parents are walking through the souks in search of essential accessories for the ceremony.
This is something traditional.
They're called tabuka.
What do you put in there?
Don't you use that at home for decoration?
We have one like that, but even bigger.
What are they for?
You used to put bread in them.
They're beautiful.
I don't know about the small ones. You still use the big ones as bread containers at weddings.
The couple wants a traditional Moroccan fairy tale wedding. The ceremony is in 2 months in Yusra's hometown of Fez. Uthman and his mother Samira are visiting Yusra's family. A lot still has to be arranged and organised for the wedding. Yusra's father Hassan accompanies her through the old city. When their children get married, parents still expect to have a say on the details. Fez is one of Morocco's oldest cities and is known for its handicrafts. Uthman is still looking for some shoes to match the traditional robe he'll wear for the henna ceremony. Yusra and Uthman flew to Morocco a few days ago to prepare everything for their wedding. Their vacation is almost over and soon they'll need to return to France. Samira is looking for the precious eaglewood called oud, along with incense and musk. Large quantities are needed for the henna ceremony. Tradition calls for Uthman to give the scents to his bride as a wedding gift.
This is really good.
Do you have oud?
Yes.
Could I see it?
There's oud for 30 and for 50 dirham per gram. How much do you need?
How much for the best?
This one costs 30 dirham, the other 50 dirham a gram.
What's the difference?
That one is natural, the other is scented.
Do you have bigger ones? This is 30 dirham, and this 50 dirham. We need even more for a wedding.
Ah, for a wedding. I'll order it for you.
Pour moi, en fait, le mariage marocain, il reste le meilleur au monde.
I still think Moroccan weddings are the best in the world. There's a lot to prepare. The wedding focuses on the bride. It's all about her beauty. She wears different dresses. You can't find this anywhere else, only in Morocco.
Il y a que au Maroc, quoi.
Uthman and Yusra met in France. Both studied in Rennes, in northwestern France, and now work as computer scientists.
Do you remember what it's like in Rennes, Mum? There you only get a little orange juice. They fill up the rest with water.
Yes, very little orange juice and a lot of tap water.
And then they call that freshly squeezed orange juice.
Pressé. ايوه عثمان تلاقيته في المدينة اللي ساكنة فيها.
I met Uthman in Rennes, France, where we both live. We met at an after-work party at the company we both worked for at the time. There was a spark between us right away. It was love at first sight. We then agreed to meet for coffee. That was also in France. Then I called my mum and told her about Uthman.
المهم هادشي في فرنسا من بعد أنا عيطت لماما وعاودت لها قلت لها
المهم قالت لي ماما عندي واحد الخبر سعيد غادي نقول لك قلت لها
She told me, Mum, I have some good news for you.
داك واحد الخبر
I said, God willing, we only hear good news. She said, I met a man from a good family. He's very nice and good looking. I like him and he likes me. And we both feel sure this is serious.
ورحنا تفاهمنا أنا وياه ودابا ماما
I want you to know that, Mum.
تنقول لك هادشي
I was so happy and then told her, Allah will make sure everything goes well.
المهم
It is important to me that it is serious between you.
هادشي اللي كاين قالت لي راه زعما معلوم
She reassured me.
زعما هادشي راه الحمد لله
I waited to tell you until I was sure he's serious and only wants the best for me.
الحمد لله راه ود الناس وناوي الخير
من يهضر معايا بابا قلت له جاني داكشي نورمال.
Dad told me not to cross the line.
دي ليميت باسكو مازال ما بيناتنا حتى حاجه.
That's how we were raised. We are not allowed to have close contact without a marriage certificate.
Tant qu'il y a pas de d'acte, qu'il y a pas de mariage, bon il faut garder.
Marriage is sacred. Everyone knows that in Morocco. We can't be intimate without a marriage certificate.
L'acte de mariage c'est un truc sacré, c'est un truc qu'il faut respecter باش عاد نقولوا على داك les deux personnes عاد يمكن لهم يتجمعوا.
بالنسبة للحدود
Here are the rules. She is not allowed to travel alone with Uthman. She is definitely not allowed to be alone with him in a small room or sit with him somewhere away from others.
يعني في واحد المكان ضيق ولا شي حاجة.
I don't mind the two of them going to a cafe, sitting there together to get to know each other better.
الحوار والتفاهم.
That's not a problem.
ما كاين حتى شي مشكل. ولكن بالنسبة مثلا
But to be with Uthman somewhere in a confined space, to get too close to him, I won't allow that as a father.
ولا شي حاجة.
I simply won't.
يعني هذا أنا بالنسبة لي كأب ما تنقبلوش.
مع بابا عارف ماشي.
My father is cool, but he wants us to respect the rules. That doesn't mean that we need to sit 200 meters apart in a cafe. We sit together normally, respectfully. Allah is watching over us in France.
حاضينا الله سبحانه وتعالى كيف كنقولوا.
Yusra has hired a wedding planner called an agafa in Fez. Selwa is supposed to help her with the elaborate preparations. Selwa works together with her husband Abderrahim, a goldsmith and jeweller, to make a preliminary selection of possible dresses and matching jewellery.
Look, Abderrahim, this dress could also be used for the henna celebration.
But there's no green in it.
But it goes with green.
True. Could you give me the matching jewellery?
That one?
The belt too.
Here's the crown.
See, it matches. Same colour.
And here's the belt to go with it.
All the same colour.
Yes, of course. We show our customers wedding dresses that are typical of Fez, Rabat or other cities, and then they pick one. Some people have no idea what an amaria is, so we show them wedding videos. They then understand and want the whole package right away. Meaning they want the bride to be carried several times in the amaria. They want a henna ceremony and a fascia dress. They go home satisfied and prepare for a typical traditional Moroccan wedding.
الأمارية c'est une table. En fait, c'est là où on met la mariée.
The amaria is a table for the bride or the groom. There are people who choose to have two, one for the bride and one for the groom. It's a kind of litter carried by several men above their heads. All the guests should see the bride and admire her beauty because she is the center of the celebration.
Il faut qu'elle soit belle et voilà qu'elle attire l'attention de tout le monde.
Yusra and Uthman, the bride and groom-to-be, are discussing the wedding with Selwa. Their mothers are also included in the meeting.
Haven't we been in that room before?
Yes, that's the Queen Hall. That's where you had another wedding.
That wedding had over 800 guests.
When is the wedding?
On September the 4th, God willing.
Welcome. Everything will be fine. Do you want only the bride or both to be carried in the amaria?
Both, the bride and the groom.
Ah, 2 tables. Plus a ride in the amaria for the henna and the fascia dress.
Yes, for the henna and the fascia dress.
Now for the wedding. Will I provide the wedding attire or will the bride?
I have commissioned 2 kaftan dresses, one for the amaria and one for the henna evening.
And the third one?
We'll gladly get that from you. And please don't forget the modern wedding dress.
Wonderful. As you can see.
Very beautiful.
I love the color. Very pretty. Very pretty. That would fit. The jewelry.
Can we see the jewelry?
The matching belts. Very nice. Can I see the earrings?
The earrings are beautiful too.
Very beautiful.
The crown and the belt are gorgeous.
Here's the matching necklace.
May I see the necklace?
I have a brooch. The necklace is also very beautiful.
Can you try it on? Could you pull your hair back?
It all goes together. Crown, earrings and belt.
Can I see the crown? Come a little closer.
Beautiful.
I'm excited.
You already look like a bride.
Very classy jewelry.
Allah bless you.
The bride's parents used to organise and pay for the wedding. But both families now often share the burden, as with Uthman and Yusra's wedding. Yusra's mother reserved a hall for the wedding reception, but some unexpected problems have arisen.
Rashida, didn't you visit the hall? I asked the owner if he can swap out the benches for tables with chairs. I don't know. Can't you come over? It's a disaster. There would be guests sitting with their backs to the bride at 2 spots. That's unacceptable. Yusra and Uthman will pick you up.
Is she coming here?
Is Yusra's mother coming now?
Yes, you are going to pick her up.
The hall will hold 10 tables at most.
At most.
Yes, and there are other problems.
They can't count. It's not like we only have 10 tables.
Mum, where are the other 2 tables going to go? Outside in the garden?
Look at this. Same problem. Some guests would have to sit with their backs to the wedding. Unacceptable. Guests don't want to be squeezed onto a bench either. Or would you like that?
Of course not. You're right.
We'd best clear everything out.
I hope the owner is okay with it. I'll have a talk with him.
We need to talk to our Negafa. She's in charge. I don't like the decoration. There's better.
We need to talk to the florist.
I don't like it.
I'm not a fan either.
No problem, the florist is just a detail.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just a detail. Speaking of which,
The Negafa will take care of everything.
how did you solve the air conditioning problem?
The owner is organising everything.
That's what you had told me.
Yes, that's how it is.
But I was told by the owner that he didn't know about air conditioning. He will just refer us to someone who will install it. The hall doesn't have any. How is that going to work? Someone has to come specifically for air conditioning.
That's exactly what he told me. Someone else will install it. It'll cost extra.
Come here. Want to sit down? Let's sit. How do we look? You're supposed to be celebrating us as bride and groom.
Did you know we're only allowed to celebrate until 11 p.m.?
Yes, they close everything at 11.
We shouldn't take any chances.
But we shouldn't drive ourselves crazy either. We'll wait until the afternoon.
We don't have a choice anyway. We won't get our deposit back. We can't change anything. Let's not make everything more complicated.
How much did you put down?
About 40,000 real.
I'd rather lose 200 euros than ruin the
We
wedding.
can't change anything.
Rashida, we don't care about the deposit.
How much did you pay?
40,000 real.
No, let's wait until we find something else. Then they can keep the deposit.
We have to keep looking. I don't care about the deposit.
Some items are made entirely by hand, some by machine. Of course, there's a difference in price. The upper part here is made entirely by hand. I make this pattern with the machine, and then a woman embroiders it with beads.
هذا كيتصوب باليد، هذا الفوقاني هو كيصوبو صناعي باليد. هذا الزواق هذا كنصوبو.
This kaftan, for example, goes through several hands. There are about 10 people working on this piece alone. One makes the yarn, another weaves the border, another draws the pattern by hand. I also work on the pattern, take measurements and do the tailoring. By the time a kaftan is finished and looks like this one, 8 to 10 people have worked on it for a long time.
كيخدموا فيها تقريبا واحد 10 الناس ولا 8 الناس باش كتشوفها هكا واقفه جاهزه. هادو ما بقاتش الصنعه كما كانت. النفس دابا شحال هادي كانت تقريبا.
Our craft isn't what it used to be. In Fez, there used to be a yarn makers quarter where only yarn makers and tailors worked. Now we are down to 2 or 3 tailors. Our manual work is now being replaced by computer-controlled machines. There are also not enough young people learning the trade.
A policeman is allowed to stop you and ask you who your companion is. You can go out with your girlfriend, but if you want to travel with her alone and share a hotel room with her, you can't do that without a marriage certificate. Every young Moroccan knows that.
Othman's family lives in the metropolis of Casablanca. He was born, raised and graduated from high school in the city. He first studied engineering in Morocco and then went to France to study computer science.
Yusra first met my mother when we came from France and landed in Casablanca. She lives in Fez. My mother then came to visit us at home. She and Yusra had already spoken on the phone several times. There was minor friction, but only because of the stress surrounding the wedding. I think their getting to know each other went pretty well.
The bride and I didn't really have any problems. But we here in Casablanca have our wedding traditions, and they in Fez have theirs. They are attached to their traditions, and we're attached to ours. There was some tension. The bride said, we in Fez do it this way, and I said, we in Casablanca do it this way. In the end, we tried to find a compromise.
الفرق اللي كاين ما بين العراسات ديال فاس وديال الدار البيضاء.
The main difference between a wedding in Fez and one in Casablanca is this. People in Fez usually hold 2 separate celebrations, one for the bride and her family, the second for the groom and his family. We will have one wedding for everyone. That's enough. 2 celebrations have become unusual these days.
ديجا كافي ما عندناش نديرو 2 عراسات اللي هادشي ما بقاش يدار بزاف.
Tell Mama how it used to be. What did people do first? Was there a henna celebration?
Of course. That was held at the bride's family. Who brought presents?
The groom's family.
And after that comes the wedding day. There were no photographers back then.
ما كانش فيه هذا الصور ولا
The women were among themselves.
ما كانش ذاك الوقت باش كيوجدوا العرس.
They used to just bake for 2 days before the wedding.
Yes, all the wedding pastry was prepared at home. Everyone who could bake helped out. There was no caterer or anything. I didn't have one either. The bride's family was responsible for everything, pastries and food. And there was no men's music group. Men weren't even allowed to be there.
Ah, only women.
Yes, men and women were separated.
The wedding went on until 7 in the morning, and then they would wake up the bride.
As soon as the bride left the bedroom, her underpants were brought to her family as proof.
Everyone is looking at her.
The underpants were shown to the family and neighbours so that everyone knew that something had happened on the wedding night.
And then the bride is given money.
And if the underpants don't?
Then all is lost.
Then the fighting would start.
A brawl would break out. Some would flee for fear of being beaten.
The bride's family would take off.
Yes, the bride too, of course.
Fez. Early September. Everyone has returned to Fez for Yusra and Othman's henna celebration, which is an important part of a traditional Moroccan wedding. The families want to avoid renting a hall for 2 days and have decided to host the celebration at the family of Abderrahim, the father of the groom. The guests arrive first. Then the groom and his family make a ceremonial entrance, featuring a procession and gifts, accompanied by drum beats and music. Nobody in Morocco is bothered by the noise. Letting everyone know about your wedding is part of the culture. While the guests welcome the groom, the bride is being prepared for her grand entrance in a separate room. The Nagafa helps her put on the magnificent gown and gold jewellery. She also does the bride's hair and makeup. Everything has to be perfect when the bride meets the guests in a few minutes.
سي فري كو العادات ديال المغرب ماشي بحال العادات ديال فرنسا. العادات ديال المغرب
The traditions and customs in Morocco are different than in France, even though a lot has changed. If your parents trust you, you now have a little more freedom. The groom used to have to wait to see his bride-to-be until the wedding day, and mothers usually chose brides for their sons. But this is no longer true for our generation. If you meet someone and you get along, why shouldn't you get married?
إلا عرفتي بنادم تفاهمتو علاش pourquoi pas.
All eyes are on Yusra. The guests notice and comment on every step, gesture and facial expression. Everyone is taking pictures and everyone wants a photo with the bride. And since Morocco has also joined the digital age, the photos and videos will make it to social media later that evening. Selwa, the Nagafa, has provided the dark green henna dress and gold jewellery. Everything is perfectly matched. Unfortunately, the kaftan that Yusra ordered from her cousin was not finished in time. The young bride enjoys being the centre of attention. She's dreamed of this day for so long, and now it's finally here. The singer first praises the Prophet Muhammad, then he praises Yusra's beauty and elegance. The guests celebrate the bride in her magnificent henna dress and carry her through the hall on the Amaria. The couple is then married according to Islamic custom. The ceremony is carried out by two religious officials representing both the state and the faith.
In the name of Allah, all the best, my child. Dear Ertman, I wish you all the best. In the name of Allah and His Prophet Muhammad, you're here to marry Yusra. As a wedding gift, give her these 3 gold coins worth 3,000 euros. Please sign here. And you sign here too, please.
A prayer for the bride and groom and verses read from the Quran make the marriage official.
Congratulations. May Allah bless this wedding. I wish you both all the best for the future. A life full of joy, good health and many children.
The henna ceremony begins after a ceremonial meal. An artist paints traditional patterns on the hand of the bride as a sign of joy, fertility and good luck. The guests are also welcome to take part. Women used to prefer bright reddish-brown henna to be painted in large patterns on their hands and feet. But more ornate, filigree patterns are now on vogue. The decorated hands and feet are then wrapped in cotton to protect the artwork. Many leave the wrap on all night. The longer the henna remains on the skin, the darker the colour. Yusra chose to get a subtle diamond pattern on her ring finger. Family sets up the tiafur, the traditionally embroidered velvet containers for Ertman's gifts to the bride. They're left open so everyone can admire the gifts, branded handbags and other accessories, dates and chocolates. The jewellery and Ertman's gold coins are a big hit. The more valuable the gifts, the higher the family's prestige. It's time. Drums and music announce the beginning of the celebration. Othman and his family carry the numerous gifts into the banquet hall, filled with guests. The traditional start of every wedding ceremony, stylishly staged by Selwa, the Nagafa. Selwa and her staff prepare Othman and Yusra for their big appearance in the Amariya, the most important moment of the festivities.
I love dressing the bride, decorating her with a crown and a belt so that she feels comfortable in the Amariya. If she is happy and pleased, then so am I.
Selwa does a final check of the bride's outfit. Does everything, crown, hair, kaftan, fit perfectly? Selwa's reputation is at stake. She gives Yusra final instructions before the big appearance.
The wedding day is the most important day of the bride's life. She wants to be a princess. My job is to make her dream come true.
The time has come. The bride and groom are carried into the hall. Yusra is wearing a kaftan designed by her cousin Zineb. Fortunately, the gorgeous cream-coloured piece was finished just in time. Yusra and Othman clearly enjoy being in the spotlight.
C'est compliqué d'organiser un mariage marocain, là, c'est sûr. Parce qu'en fait,
a traditional Moroccan wedding is complicated. It is celebrated in several stages. There are regions where people celebrate their wedding for 3 to 4 days. We decided to limit it to 2. The celebration is so tiring and exhausting. I can't even put it into words. But we have no choice. We have to organize this wedding to make everyone happy. We don't have that many opportunities to bring the whole family together. The wedding is a chance for us all to have fun, dance, eat, and laugh.
Voilà.
After the Amariya, the ceremonial presentation of the bride and groom, the couple retires to private quarters. After a short break, it's time to put on the next set of festive attire. The bride also gets her hair and makeup redone. While the bride and groom are away, the guests dance and enjoy themselves. The bride appears a second time, this time clothed in green. This part of the celebration is reminiscent of the henna ceremony and is meant for all those who could not attend the previous evening. An abbreviated, stylized henna ritual is performed, but no hands are actually painted. For Yusra, it's an opportunity to wear the kaftan designed by her cousin Zineb, which was not finished in time for the actual henna celebration. Yusra and Uthman enter the dance floor in good spirits. Following tradition, the guests give them banknotes. The two will pass these on to the Nagafa and her team for a job well done. No traditional Moroccan wedding is complete without the fassia garment. As the name suggests, this type of kaftan originated in Fez and is one of the oldest varieties of Moroccan wedding dresses. The heavy, lush brocade and massive crown are quite a challenge for petite Yusra. But Yusra knows what's expected of her, to smile and not let the effort show.
C'est aussi important de le mariage, pour la famille, peut-être plus aussi pour la rose.
It is important that we celebrate a traditional wedding, not only for the family, but especially for the bride. This is an opportunity for her to be the center of attention and to be celebrated by everyone. We want to have a modern celebration, but with all the customs of a traditional wedding. For example, the amaria, fassia dress, henna and so on. But we'd like the rest, like the wedding hall, the catering, the service and the food, to be a bit more modern.
It's now well past midnight, time for the highlight of the evening. An appearance by Yusra in a modern white wedding dress and Uthman in a black tuxedo, something fit for the silver screen. The bridal couple had expressly requested this touch of Hollywood, including the saxophone accompaniment.
En fait, je veux me marier pour une simple raison, c'est en fait pour construire une famille.
I'm getting married to start a family because I don't want to stay alone all my life. I want to share responsibilities with someone, live happily with him, and discuss everything with him. My parents live far away from me. I can't always pick up the phone and tell them about my worries. That's why I want someone for the good times and the bad. And I also want to start a family.
Bien sûr, je vais construire une famille, pas pour
Not right away, but maybe in a year or two.
2 ans, quoi. C'est un truc, puisque le
Marriage doesn't mean just him and me, but also children. We will start a big family, God willing.
Une grande famille, Inch'Allah.
The wedding was a hit. The bride and groom, their families, and the many guests are happy. Tomorrow, the newlyweds will start their honeymoon, and after that, their new life as a couple.
يعني كما شفتوا الإخوان، يعني إذا كملتي الفيديو راه برافو عليك، صافا عليك نتايا، لأنك كتشوف أنه كيفاش هذا الروبورتاج من الأول حتى الأخير ديالو بالتفاصيل ديالو. يعني المغرب الإخوان يعني يبهر الجميع بطبيعة الحال، وخصوصا الناس اللي يكونوا عايشين في برا وعندهم واحد الحنين للمغرب. هاد الأمور هاد الفيديوهات كيعجبوهم لأنهم كيعطيوهم واحد الصلة ديال القرب بالوطن ديالهم بطبيعة الحال. نهار يرجعوا بطبيعة الحال الله يجيبهم على خير، كيحسوا بأنه ما كاينش هناك واحد الفرقة هما في الغربة. تفاعل معايا الا كنتي في اي دوله، اش من دوله نتايا، كتب لي اش من دوله هذا الفيديو عجبك ولا اضاف لك شي حاجه، حاول يفرج عليك شويه، وبطبيعه الحال اكتب لي التعليق وتفاعل معايا في هذا الموضوع هذا. للقاء فيديو اخر ان شاء الله. تهلاو.